So, this is my tutorial for, I guess, a more user-friendly tutorial for the PO33. I gotta say, it's probably my favorite music thing I've ever bought myself. Granted, I don't make a lot of money, so this thing is just perfect. It was less than $100. I can't put it down, so. Anyways, I'm gonna basically run through how I make beats. Sometimes it takes longer. I find usually it's because I'm trying to find my samples and it takes a long time, but once you actually just have your samples, it's not a big deal. So here we go. So this is the samples I got. And then I got this one. It's pretty much you just want to, I try to find samples that don't have drums. I know you can definitely make songs with drums. It's just different sound, different feel, I guess. Like if you want to make lo-fi, pretty much just want two alternating chords that are, perfect for lo-fi. It's kind of, you just gotta get lucky, I guess. I don't know, really. It's like my third month with this thing, so can't say I'm a professional, but I do enjoy these types of sounds for these kinds of beats, I guess. So to start off, I usually try to find the tempo of my first sample, which sometimes is hard. It doesn't work out a lot. Like sometimes the sample's too long or too short, whatever. So I try to find samples that aren't very long, maybe 6 to 10 seconds, depending on what you want to do. But the way I find the tempo is I will alternate between the two patterns. So I'll select pattern 1 and 5, and then I'll have my main sample just repeat on those two patterns while changing the tempo. So I'm just going to change the tempo so I can show you how I find it, I guess. So I put it on 60, which is lowest. I'm going to go ahead and show you an example. So see, it doesn't repeat when I want it to repeat. So pretty much I'll just slowly turn the tempo up or down until it repeats the way I want it to. So 70 works, I guess. So I'll stick there, and now you could either start your drums after you find your tempo, which sometimes I'll start with like a snare, just to make sure my sample's actually in time the way I need it to be. Slightly too slow. That'll work, I guess. Sometimes they're not on perfect tempo or quantized perfectly, and it's really frustrating. It's probably what takes me the longest, is just trying to find perfect tempo for everything. So Alright, so we can do some patterns. The best way to save time, I guess, is to copy your patterns. And the way I do that, just select the pattern you want to copy, and then hold the right button, hold the pattern button, and then push the one you want to be copied, and then select where you want it to be copied, and then keep repeating that. So pattern 1, pattern 4, then pattern 1 to pattern 9, 10, 11, 12. That way, you got them all, pretty much. And then you can just build on each pattern while it's playing. So, this one, I'll just go ahead and redo these because I had snares on all of them. Alright, so you'll just have a clear pattern to start with, usually, is what I do. And then by the way, before I get any further, my drum kits I found by just literally YouTubing PO33 drum kits. And there's a few that are sampled off of like 808s and all that. But there's one that it just says lo-fi drum kit, and it's like a video instead of a 7-second clip. And that's where I got this drum kit. Which is the one I use the most. I also have kits that I made, like this one I made out of my keys. And I'll show you how easy that is. You really just, keys and a piece of paper. And, that's pretty much how you make that drum kit. There's some buzzing, and I'm assuming it's from the speakers that are right here. But that's what I love about this thing, is it actually records in decent quality for the most part, especially when you're in a line-in. That's probably my favorite thing about it, is you just go on YouTube and waste some time on some samples and okay, so anyways, now I'll show you how I add another sample, kind of give it a different feel pretty much. So this is my second sample, and I will show you how I fit those together pretty much, and it's a fun part. Pretty much you just got to play around when you record it in the drum section because it'll chop it up for you. You just play around. So mine, so that would be the pattern for that one. Sometimes it's a little tricky to find the right notes, I guess, that fit together, but generally you could tell if it's out of tune, I guess, just by listening to it. So you just gotta tune it with the pitch while you're, playing, just to make sure. And then the way I record it, I'll just play it pretty much. So I'll let this repeat just to get me ready, and then I'll hold the right button. And that'll just repeat. And then, you pretty much build just off of that. So what I do, I'll add hi-hats. I only got one hi-hat, but this is one of the drum kits off of YouTube, like the 808, I think, or 707, I'm not 100% sure. And you'll just throw them in there. Another cool trick I found, one of the Instagram people showed me this with the hi-hats. While it's on right mode and you see them all, if you hold down whichever one you want to change, you could actually change the triplets on it, which is how you get that glitchy hi-hat sound. So you hold, pattern 3 on the hi-hat, and then you push the BPM, and it'll change, make it do triplets or do it by 8. Which I thought, that was probably the coolest thing I learned on this thing. Now, the reason why it won't let me add a snare, you can only have 4 sounds on one square, so I have too many samples going. So I'll probably take out most of the hi-hat. So yeah, that's another thing. It's probably the one. There's 2 things that bug me about this. And I get it. It's not like you could handle a lot, but you could only have 40 seconds of samples, and my drum kits take up at least half of that. And the other thing is you can only stack 4 sounds on one square. So if you really want to make a sweet beat, you'd pretty much have to get 2 of these, or just an actual MPC, but yeah, you pretty much have to sacrifice sounds so that it doesn't get muddied up. Another cool thing I learned is you could change the tone and pitch while it's playing of anything. For example, I'll change the pitch of the drums real quick. So the way you do that is while it's playing, you'll make sure your drum kit's selected and the sounds, and then find the tone, hold the right button, and you can change the pitch. And it'll actually record it while you do it in real time, like also do it with the filters. That's pretty much all you really need to know. If you have any questions, I guess, just let me know. Anyways, hope you enjoyed.